Okay. We're. Oh wait, we're good. Okay. We're gonna. No. It's on, right? Okay. All right. Yeah, the little flag over there. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. All right. Thank you all very much for coming. We have just a couple of things that I wanted to start out the meeting with, and then we're going to hear from Jorge Pauker from the Anne Arundel County Office of Emergency Management to talk about emergency preparedness. So we're actually coming up on election time, meaning election for our board. And before we do that, we assemble a nomination committee, and this year's nomination committee consists of Dave Coleman, Dan Cryan, and Elizabeth Brady. Dan and Elizabeth are both here. It does need to be approved by the membership, though. So, would somebody like to? Okay. Do I need to? Okay, now, all right. So Glenn made a motion. Second, right? Okay. Seconded. All in favor? Opposed? No. Okay, that's wonderful. So now we have our nomination committee for this year. So that also means that we, if people are interested in joining the board, then they should see a member of the nomination committee, or they could go to our website and email us, and a member of the committee will get will have the email forwarded to them. If anybody is interested in possibly becoming a board member. So I think I've not a few other announcements, but I think we'll wait until the end. Oh shoot, I forgot. We're live streaming. I'm supposed to say that first. So right, like Adam just said, not in a microphone. Yeah, but so right, because the folks on the live stream can only really hear if you're speaking to a microphone. And this one we'll use to kind of pass around for questions. But now that we've settled that, Jorge, would you like to take it away?
Hello, there you go. Can everybody hear me back there and inside Your Homes International Facebook? Good afternoon or good evening. My name is Jorge Pauker. Some of you may have known, maybe some of you don't, but I do work for the Office of Emergency Management for Anne Arundel County. I've been working for them for like the last 5 years, so I've been doing a lot of work, doing outreach and education throughout the whole community in the county. I am a former firefighter paramedic with Prince George's County. I did 25 years, 4 years volunteering, 21 years career. And that I retired about 5 years ago. So there's a lot of little things I have knowledge-wise, experience-wise, and especially when it comes to preparedness. My second year in the fire department was 9/11. So that's a big hint of how prepared we have to be in certain times when we weren't really prepared. All right, so that's one thing. That's why I'm here. I want to make sure that we're all prepared. And any questions you have, please feel free to ask. There's a microphone being passed around, I'm assuming, eventually if you guys have a question. Anything considering your house, your neighborhood, whatever we're going to talk about, we'll try to see if we can fit it in and get past those questions and answers. Okay. Are we ready? I have my own clicker. Let's hope it works. Sometimes technically it doesn't work that well. So again, this is the individual and family emergency preparedness. So we want to make sure that not only are you prepared as a family, but God forbid you have to be separated, right? Now, how do I make sure I'm prepared by myself if I have to be individually at home or wherever I am? So I don't want to block you. So wherever you are, okay. So the Anne Arundel County Office of Emergency Management, our mission here is to ensure that the county government and the general public are prepared for emergencies. And when we say emergencies, we mean everything. So as a firefighter, as a paramedic, I used to do medical only, fire only. As an emergency management personnel, we're talking about everything you can think of, and then the ones you can't. That's a lot. All right. Manage the county's response to major emergencies and coordinate with the county, state, federal entities and maintain partnerships with organizations and jurisdictions throughout. So when the bridge collapsed, everybody remember that? That was one of our major ones. Who do we have to cooperate with? Baltimore, city of Baltimore, Annapolis, Anne Arundel County. We all had to kind of talk together, work together to make sure that we can help those families, those businesses, etc. Okay, that's an example of one. Our units. So we do have units within our system, within our county. We have 15 of us, roughly, that work for the county, for all of you. We do operations and planning, okay? It's exactly what it sounds like. We do planning for anything that you can think of. If the dams, there's about 7 dams in the county that we have to worry about, all right? There's 2 nuclear plants that are 50-mile radius away from Anne Arundel County we have to think about. Even though they're 50 miles away, we kind of still have to plan for that, all right? And then our operations. How do we operate? When we do operate, what do we need to do? What do we have ready to go? Stuff like that, okay? Training, exercise, and evaluation. That's exactly what it is. So we do a lot of training. We go out and train you guys, the civilians, the regular population, the layman personnel. We also train ourselves, right? We have to make sure that we're prepared, that we correctly answer those questions, emergencies, the way we think it should go. And if there's any fault or anything that we need to work on, we'll work on it before, hopefully, that emergency actually happens. All right, so that's the training and exercise that we do. Communications and outreach, that is my main goal here. I'm trying to communicate with you guys, trying to get some feedback from you, trying to get a feel of what your location is, what your home is, what you individually deal with, or as a bear, on your street specifically, or in your neighborhood specifically. So we want to make sure that we reach out to you guys to make sure that all of you are okay, right? We're not just going to count one out and say they're okay and not try to figure them out too. We have to figure out everybody around us. All right. So special projects. Special projects is exactly what it is. It involves anything like the elections, not the elections for you guys, but necessarily the elections that are coming up for November, or we have Preakness coming up soon. That's part of our situation. Anything that happens to be like Annapolis, we had the St. Patrick's Parade. We are part of that, okay? Because anything happens to Annapolis can happen down in Anne Arundel County, right? So we have to be ready to help each other out. So that's a special project. And then we work with the whole community. Today we are here with you guys, right? We are business. We are business and industry. We work with community and civic associations, house of worships, military. We always go to the military installations, nonprofit and volunteer organizations. So we are everywhere. At least we want to be everywhere, right? Now, I'm going to tell you the truth. In communications and outreach, there's only 3 of us for the whole county. All right? And I'm the only one that's the specialist. That's my specialty, is the outreach and communication. All right. So that's why you may not see too many of us at many times. All right. This is what our leadership looks like from the top down to the bottom. You guys already know federal, FEMA, Federal Emergency Management Agency. Then we have the state. And then our director for Anne Arundel County is Director Preeti Emmerich. Now, you're not going to believe this. She started 6 months before coronavirus. All right. She got the position 6 months into coronavirus, right before. Coronavirus hit, and she had to figure things out with only, I think at the time, with only 9 employees. Okay. So she did a lot of work. She's been great. She's been there now 6 years. So she's pretty cool. Okay. Any questions so far? I know I'm talking a little fast. I'm a little nervous. You guys look very serious. Just kidding. Okay. So our emergency management cycle, we want to make sure that you guys understand what we're thinking about. So right now, we are ensure human actions do not result in a disaster. Could that happen? Yeah, that could happen. So anytime that we think about that is like anything you do could have a catastrophic effect, right? It's a trickle down effect. It could affect something else, which affects something else, which affects something else, which makes things bigger. Exactly what happened to the bridge. Correct? It's exactly what happened to the bridge. And it started way before even the cargo ship got to Maryland. All right. So that is a thing, the human disaster that we don't want that action to happen. So our prevention is what our concern is. Getting education out to prevent is the most important thing. Okay? The prevention. So we'll talk about more of that as we go. Mitigation. Our actions to reduce those situations, right? The hazards. Those we want to take the proactive measures to make sure that we get through those. All right. The proactive measures could be anything, right? How many of us already have a kit at home just in case there's an emergency that you have no electricity, no heat, no food, anything? How many of us have a kit at home, a box ready to go? You have a kit with food and water and everything? A week. Okay. And that's what we're talking about. All right. It's just something to make that emergency less of an emergency, right? Whatever we can make less of, whatever we can make less statistics of yourself. All right. One of the key things we talk about is surviving, right? The less you're prepared and the less you can prevent certain emergencies, the more of a survivor you're not going to be. So we need you to survive. All right. And we'll talk about that more examples later. All right. Readiness and training to respond to a disaster. How many of us right now, and I can raise my hand, how many of us have been trained in CPR? No CPR right now. Yes? Okay. How many of us are prepared for an active shooter? What to do, not in your school if you work at a school, but in your own capacity, personal capacity. Okay. Those are the kind of questions we're talking about. Okay. Readiness. How many of us are ready for a flooding? Wherever you are, right? Maybe you don't need to be, right? How many of us are ready for a tornado or some kind of hurricane, et cetera, et cetera? These are all kind of things we have to be ready for. So the ready state has to be always ready to go. And that's one thing a lot of us don't want to do. It might not happen to me. It's not going to happen to me. I understand. But when it does, I can't go with that logic anymore. All right. So then we go to the preparedness, which is part of the mitigation and preparedness, the readiness. And we go into the response. How do you respond to that, right? Where is your stress level? How many people do you have to worry about? Where do you have to go? Or where do we have to stay? Where do we hide? Where do we shelter? All these things have to come into place. How do I respond to those reactions? And then how do we respond? So as the county, we're going to respond in whatever level we need to respond. So what we do is we tend to open something called the Emergency Operations Center. And the Emergency Operations Center has everybody in that center located in our office. In our office, we have maybe half this room, okay, with computers everywhere, monitors everywhere. And I have American Red Cross. I have Department of Public Works. I have BGE. I have Department of Health, police, sheriff, FBI, whoever I need is going to be there with me in person. So I don't have to call them on the phone. I don't have to look for them. I just go straight to the person and say, hey, I got an issue here we need to take care of right now. All right. So what happens in a disaster to 911 normally? What happens to 911? It gets jammed. You may have 1,700 people calling at the same time. Does 911 say, hey, hold on, I'll get to you as soon as I can? Yeah, that does happen. So we have the backup 911 as well. All right. So we also back 911 up in case 911 gets jammed. Okay. And that's what happened with coronavirus. Where do I go for testing? Where do I go for labs? I think I have it. Who's the doctor do I see? Do I stay home? All those questions were coming up on coronavirus, right? All that stuff, which was crazy at the time, but that did happen. All right. So our response is very important because our recovery has to be the best recovery we can get. Now, as a former paramedic, when I would save somebody's life, my part of that recovery is to just bring them back. But is that good enough? No. Take them to the hospital, bring them back, and then get them back to what their normal state, or as close to normal they were before, so that way they can continue living a pretty decent life. All right? And that's what we want you to have to survive a disaster or an emergency. All right? So your recovery is very important. Any questions with any of that? I know it's a lot of information. We'll give you some of that information later. I also have a booklet to hand you. Okay, so there's 4 steps to emergency preparedness. All right, so 4 steps are right here. Very easy. The first one is to be informed. Why do you need to be informed? We'll tell you all about it. I know you want to answer right now, but don't worry. You'll be all informed. Then we're going to tell you to make a plan. Oh, how do I make a plan? A plan for what? Well, we'll talk about it as well. All right, build a kit. Now, we all have to build kits because most of you do not have a kit. So we'll talk about that one, definitely. And then getting involved. The great thing about that is that today you're already getting involved with this class, right? You're getting that information. You're probably going to talk to some other family member, say, hey, we're going to need to do this. We're going to need to do that. We need to be ready. All right. What season are we're heading into now? Anybody know what weather season are we heading into? Hurricane. All the way from June 1st, or a little earlier now, all the way to November. Steep. Yeah, that's a long time for hurricanes. Okay. So we got to be ready. Lots of information on here. Lots of information. I'm going to back up just a little bit. All right. So potential hazards to your community. We already know all the hazards that can happen, right? There's fire, accidents, medical incidents, epidemic, which we already talked about, severe weather, criminal activity, assailant, cyber attack, utility failure, hazardous materials. Is that a lot? It's overwhelming. All right. But one at a time. We're going to go through it one at a time when you need to go through it. So let's keep going. All hazard preparedness. If you see that on the board, if you prepare well for a likely worst cause, like a major hurricane, you are prepared for almost any emergency. Okay. If you're prepared for that one specific one, then you can have any of those and be better prepared for any of those. And that's the great thing about it. So if you say, oh, I'm prepared for fire. I'm good for fire. Good. That means you're probably good for all of these. Okay. That's the great thing. But if you're telling me right now, I don't think I'm prepared for any of those, pick one and prepare yourself for that one. That should help you prepare for the other ones. Okay. That makes sense? All right. So don't get overwhelmed by that list. Even my patch, I don't have it today, but even our symbol up there has a whole icon's worth of stuff, right? So potential hazards to our county, specifically to Anne Arundel County. Natural hazards. Can we have earthquakes? Yeah. You remember the last earthquake? Okay, good. Epidemic, flood, hurricane, severe thunderstorm, winter storm, tornado. Do we have a winter storm? That storm was a freezer. All right, that was a freezer for about 3 to 4 weeks. Freezer temperatures. The snow would not melt. Right? That's not a good thing. All right. Tornado, wind, and wildfires. Wildfires is another big one that's now coming up, right? We're heading into the summertime. Lots of stuff might be dry, might burn up. There are, sadly, some intentional disasters and emergencies that we have to be concerned about. We have active assailant. So we actually have a class called CRAZE. Have you guys heard of CRAZE? Civilian Response to Active Shooter Events. Anybody here own a gun? Good. Okay, good. We have gun locks if you guys are interested. Free gun locks for you guys. But we have training for CRAZE, which is Civilian Response to Active Shooter Events. And that is really to make you survive any emergency, but specifically the active assailant emergency, okay? We talk about stress levels and everything else and how to get out of that really stressful situation. Biological attack, chemical attack. Who knows what we're going to get, right? Civil unrest. That might be something that's coming up. Hopefully not. Cyber attack. Always could happen. Cyber attack. Explosion, bombs, infrastructure sabotage, nuclear blast, and radiological attack. Anybody know where the 2 nuclear plants are that are 50-mile radius to Anne Arundel County? Yes. Peach Bottom, Calvary Cliffs. Did you guys know that? Peach Bottom is in Pennsylvania, York, Pennsylvania. And the other one, Calvary Cliffs, is exactly where it sounds like. It's in Calvary County. Okay? Why do we have to worry about nuclear plants? It's far away. What if I tell you, I send you a message on your phone or something, and I tell you, hey, possible incident or some kind of accident happened at the Calvert Cliffs nuclear plant. What are you going to start planning? You right? Where are you going to go? Wherever that is, I'm going the opposite direction. Okay? Start. Just go. Don't even think about it. Take your kit, and we'll talk about your kid later, but start going. Start thinking. Start planning. Okay? Technological problems, hazardous materials, infrastructure failure, major structure, like the bridge, right? Nuclear facilities accident, utility disruption, and transportation hazards. All right. Any spill can occur. Is there a train nearby? Sorry to tell you. Sometimes trains do have accidents. Are you okay, ma'am? Okay. I'm sorry. First paramedic, then the firefighter, then. Okay. All right. So, be informed, right? Everybody's like, okay, be informed. How am I going to be informed? Everybody know what an EAS is? The National Public Warning System? Some of us may have known when I used to go to sleep at 3 in the morning, around 3:05, 3:03 in the morning, something will go, eh. I forgot I had the TV on, and what would it come up? They used to call it a what? Emergency broadcasts. All right, and now it's an emergency alert. Okay? So it's the same kind of warning, but it doesn't happen at those times, right? Why do we have them? Why do we have EAS? What's that? Test the equipment. Okay. That's it? But what happens if there's a real emergency and that goes off? What do you expect for you to see or read or hear? What do you think? What's going on, the emergency? What to do, right? What to do, right? And for how long? All right, so I'll give you that information. We'll talk about it later, okay? All that information is going to be important. You can get that alert through your TV, radio, cable, etc., okay? The wireless, the WEAA, WEA, we call it WEA, messages pushed through the cellular system. Did anybody get the cellular push when the bridge went down? Anybody get a text? Does anybody remember that? All right. How about amber alerts? Silver alerts? Pink alerts? Any of those? Okay. Pink? Like the baby one. Okay. Child abduction, all those too. No. Okay. They're primarily used by the state, but we also use them ourselves. So we have the connection to give you that. All right. So we will give you those information first before you get it on the radio, before you get it on the news. Okay. Any questions with that? Some of you look a little okay. Just normal looks then. All right. Here we go. This is what I was talking about. All right. Senior, silver, purple, cognitive, blue alert, law enforcement. Wounded, law enforcement is wounded. That's one of the ones you don't want to see either, right? And yellow alert, hit and run. Adopt your child is the amber alert. All right. Any questions with those? Have any of you guys ever see these up here, but never seen one of those you've never seen before? The bottom 3. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yes.
I'm coming.
That's all right. I'm not used to it either.
So I am assuming that they only do the amber and the silver, because if you have too many alerts, then you're going to distract drivers with those overhead signs on the highways. Because if there's something going on all the time, it's like, oh, what's going on? And not watching the car in front of me. So
I'll go with your assumption until it gets too dangerous. Yeah, with the assumption that you just said, I'm assuming, right? You're assuming the first 2 only. But the problem is, if we get into a situation that we have an active shooter, a barricade, and then we have a wounded police officer, and there's too many vehicles or whatever still coming through, whatever it may be, then we're going to send out the other ones to make sure you understand this location is not for you to be, right? Whatever that may be that caused that issue. Yes, ma'am, you need a microphone? Yes, go ahead, dear. It's not for karaoke, though.
Are these just geographically limited so that when you send out an alert, it's not to the whole county, it would be to the area that you're expecting it to be effective?
So we normally would send it out to the affected areas, but our problem is if you're in the county itself, you may be driving through that affected area eventually. So we like to send it county-wide, specifically write exactly or detail the exact location. So that way you still get it. Let's say you're in Lothian and you're coming up to Crofton. Okay, you're going to get it on the way up, but you're down in Lothian. It's like, I got to go to Crofton. I'll stay down here a little longer. Whatever it may be, you can now decide that for yourself. Okay. All right, so being informed, this is a QR code. You guys can get to our system. Enter. We have an Enter Under Alert. As you can see, it's a free free subscription that you can get into, that you can get the alerts way before the police officer alerts get off. One of the good things about our alerts is that it specifically does go only to your specific street that you are on. So let's say you are on your street for your house, then you're going to be getting that information that you want. All right, wherever your phone is, it will kind of help you out. Now, we're not gonna ask for anything more than your phone number, okay? So it shouldn't be more than that information. And the more you are on that, the better ready you're gonna be, okay? Better informed you're gonna be, and that's all you want to do. You want to be informed. All right, let's keep going. Everybody got that QR code? I'll also give it to you. It's also in your book that I'm handing out today. We are on social media, okay? We have our pup named Pepper Preparedness Pup, and he's on YouTube, or she's on YouTube. I think the dog is on YouTube, and the YouTube, he lots of fun on there, lots of information. Weather storms are coming. Please be prepared. Don't stay outside. If you hear thunder, stay inside. Lightning's on the way, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so all that kind of stuff. We're on Facebook, X, what's the other one? Blue Sky. Yeah, the Blue Sky is the new one. Instagram, Nextdoor, and YouTube. Now, why do I like Nextdoor first? Anybody know? Does anybody have Nextdoor? For the community, right? So Nextdoor, when I had it in my house on the next door neighbor, the great thing about it is like there's somebody knocking on my door, and it's 4 doors down. My neighbor puts it on Nextdoor. And they're knocking on my door asking for money, but they're not dressed up as anything. They have this clothes on. Please be aware. And it's only on that street. So, like, if you're here and you're living 5 miles away, you don't have to know about it. Okay? Only that person on that street, those neighbors on that street know. So Nextdoor is a very interesting thing. But there's also other stuff on there, like, oh, I need somebody to take care of my painting, or does anybody know a plumber, whatever it may be. But that's also good stuff to get. All right. Am I talking too fast, too loud? Remember, I used to work as a firefighter, so my sirens in my ears are still going off. I talk a little loud sometimes. Okay, so making a plan. Our plan for you is to make sure that you are surviving whatever emergency it is, right? Not just you. Your plan has to be with your family. You have to plan it together. Everybody in your household should know what the deal is. What do we have to do? How do we do it? All right. Understand the family, your office, your school, the installation of emergency plans. So understand if there's an emergency and it's school time, what is my school's emergency plan for my child? Right? If it's this or if it's that. All right. So you got to know those plans. Or on my office, what does my office do? What do I have to do if I'm in my office? What are our plans? Okay. All that stuff is very important to know ahead of time. So that way you're not, I can't leave. That's the rules here. You can't leave when it's this emergency. Oh, I can't leave? No, this is written. You signed a paper. You said you're okay with it. You never read it? No. Well, now you're here. All right. So you know your plans. Make a home fire escape plan. Raise your hand if you have a fire escape plan for your home written down. See, and your memory is great, but I don't trust your memory. I trust the stuff that's written down. All right. Why is it important to have a fire escape plan? I'll give you an example. Former firefighter, right? I come up to the lady. I said, ma'am, is everybody out of the house? I don't know. How many people were in the house? 3 plus myself. That's 4. So you're already out. Nobody else is with you. So you have no idea where they are? No. Do you think they made it out of the house? I have no idea. Did you have a plan? No. So where are they? No idea. So what are we going to do? We're going to go in and find every single person we can to get them out. But they may already be out and we have no idea. So if you make a plan, the first plan is to get out of the house, get out of that facility, whatever it is, knock on whose door? Whose door are you knocking on? Your neighbor. So you have to be able to talk to your neighbor, right? That's one of the biggest issues nowadays, that neighbors don't know neighbors, right? Hopefully it's not your next door neighbor, but the neighbor across the street, somewhere further away from the actual incident, okay? So knock on that door. Escape, knock on the door, and then who do we call? Finally, we get to call 911. All right. But that plan has to be written out. And everybody should know what neighbor to go to. And that neighbor should also have that same plan with you. Hey, neighbor, since you did the same thing to me, if my house gets on fire, I'm going to your house, knocking on your door at 3:30 in the morning and say, hey, my house is on fire. Can you help me out? That makes sense? You have to have that camaraderie. You have to have that understanding, that plan. And everybody in your house should know that. Does everybody here sleep in the same room? All 4 family members sleep in that one room? No. Right? Everybody has their own room. Everybody has to escape their own way sometimes. Okay? Somebody might be already in the living room. They have to escape out the living room. Somebody off the second floor. Somebody off next to the roof. Whatever it may be. They all have to go to the same place because they know the plan. So now when I come to you, ma'am, is everybody with you? Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're all here. Do what you can with the house, but there's nobody in there. Okay? Safe for us, safe for you. Does that make sense? Okay. So that's the plan that we really are pushing right now for you to start. Create a family communication plan. So there's a hurricane coming. It's been coming here for 3 days. It's category 4 hurricane. It's going to take out some roofs, some structures here, and it's going to be here for a little while. Who should we call to tell them that we're okay? In other words, you're in the middle of a hurricane and your family is worried about it. So you want to call your family, but who do you call? Do you have family in other states? Raise your hand if you have family in other states. Hopefully not Pennsylvania, Delaware, Virginia, or Maryland, right? Nobody in this state, right? What we want is somebody who's in a different state who is not involved in any way in that emergency. Everybody on this state, the 4 of us in different locations here in Crofton, Annapolis, Gambrels, and Millersville, all 4 of us are going to call that one family member that's not in this state. That one family member. Okay? When we call that one, we tell them, hey, this is Julie and Richard. We're okay. Whoever calls you, tell them we're okay. We're at home. So then the other person calls them, that same lady or whoever your communications person is, and says, hey, did you hear about Julie or Richard? Yeah, they're okay. They're at home. How about you? You guys all right? Yes. Tell them we're okay too if they call you. That way, if communication fails, can it fail? Yeah. If it fails, you have that one person, hopefully, that still has communication possible. Okay. Does that make sense? So that's your communications plan. Designate somebody outside of the state that can help you. All right. Especially if the communication fails. By the way, if all communication fails, there's one communication you might still be able to use. What is that? Text. Does everybody know how to text in this room? I have to ask, because I asked my seniors, and my senior said, what is texting? Well, that's going to be a different situation. But some of them don't know what texting is because they've never texted. Okay. I do senior citizens well. I trained them as well. All right. So let's go. Make a plan. Again, continue to make a plan. We haven't talked about infants, children, special situations like access or functional needs, right? Older adults, chronic illnesses, people who are on dialysis. People on dialysis have to be done Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. They have to get dialyzed, or else they're going to have an issue with their system. All right. So we have to plan ahead. All right. We're going to have to go to another state, whatever it may be, or we got to get preparations for transportation to come and get us, whatever it is. Okay. Has to be done early. Don't forget your pets. Who has pets in here? Yes. What kind of pets are we talking about? Dogs? Dogs? Okay. Good. We'll talk about that later on as well. All right, so consider this microphone. I'll tell you, it's a lot better than this. All right, so talk about what you do to direct yourself. What do you do if you want to shelter in place? What does that mean, shelter in place? Where do you go? What do you do? Basement? Okay. What else? Specifically, where do you go? A room? What kind of room? Interior room with no windows. Good. So you want to go in the basement with no windows and an interior room. Do we all have a bathroom downstairs in the basement? Not everybody has bathrooms. So you go into an interior room, whatever that room may be, get in there and huddle down, okay? All right. Evacuate. What does evacuate mean? That's easy. Get the heck out of there. Earlier, better, right? The earlier, the better. And practice your plan with your family, okay? All right. Especially, let's say, boyfriend is now living in our house. Her boyfriend is now living here. So now it's 5 of us. He should know the plan too. All the plans. All right. You're here now. This is the plan. Okay. That's how we do it. Okay. Now we're going to get really busy. Everybody take notes. I'm just kidding. I'll give it information. I got it. How much water do you need to shelter in place? To stay at home for, let's say, 2 weeks. No, I'm just kidding. Let's make it 5 days. How much water do you think you need? I changed it. How much? 1 gallon per person per day. Why? Why so much? What? 8 cups. Okay, so is that a gallon? No. So why a gallon? Why are we telling you a gallon? What else do you need water for besides drinking? What? Brushing your teeth, hygiene? What else? Huh? Toilet. Big one. Not, use the bathroom. I don't have any water coming, so I need my own water. Use it in your toilet. Do you want to use it on the first shot? Maybe not. Maybe your second time around. Then I'm going to use my water. Right, but wait a little bit around, right? Okay. So if you're going to do for 3 days, it's going to be 3 gallons per person. Make sure you have water for 3 gallons per person. Does that have to be drinkable water? Not necessarily. You still boil water to make it drinkable. All right. But you definitely need 3 gallons worth of water, at least for 3 days. 5 days, 5 days. Everybody remember what happened in Puerto Rico in 2017? 2 weeks and a half. No water, no electricity, no anything. Living off whatever they had for 2 weeks and a half. We're only telling you 3 or 5 days. Okay. All right. Food, at least 3 to 5 days supply. Okay. What kind of food are we talking about? Huh? Canned, non-perishable. Right. Very good. Canned food. That's the most important thing. All right. If you can, save that canned food and make sure you check it periodically to make sure it's not expired. Okay. One thing we don't want you to eat is expired food. All right. Baby formulas. Anybody here have babies right now in the house? Oh, good. All right. Battery powered or a hand cranked radio. Why do we need a hand cranked radio? What did I tell you the first step for preparedness is? Be informed. All right. So if you're going to be informed and I tell you, okay, shelter in place 5 days. This nuclear blast is going to last for 5 days, whatever happened. And you're like, oh, I got to stay home. But I don't have a radio. Batteries are all out. I have no idea what's going on. But I'm going to stay home for 5 days. All of a sudden, you're looking outside the window on the 3rd day, and there's people outside. It's like, why are they outside? Don't they know that they told us 5 days? Yeah, but on the radio, we updated that. You can now leave on the 3rd day. But you're staying an extra 2 days because you're not informed. See how that kind of rolls together? You kind of have to be informed to know what to do. Okay. Flashlight, headlight. We all know that. Everybody has a first aid kit. I know all of you have that. All right. Prescription medicine. Make sure you have early prescription medication refills, all that good stuff. All right. Refill your medications. Get that stuff done. All right. Personal hygiene items. Well, I know all of you are going to do that. You guys look pretty clean. All right. Photo identification. Why do we need a photo? Any picture identification for yourself? Any ideas? Let's say, God forbid, there's collapse. Somebody's missing. What do they look like? I have their photo right here. Oh, that was lightning. That was a big lightning. All right. So, photos is important for a lot of reasons, not just for you, in case you want to say, this is me, but it's, oh yeah, that was a huge lightning bolt. Okay. Yeah. Yes. So we have it already on your phone, right? Let's hope we can make it through this presentation. All right, here we go. So whistle. Make sure you whistle. Why do we whistle? Is that why we're whistling? No. Why do we whistle? All right. So if I can scream loud as I want to, but my whistle is going to be louder. All right. So if I get stuck for whatever reason, I have something ready to go. Just keep your whistle with you. All right, whistle, cell phone charger, canned food opener, extra clothes and blankets, wrench, pliers, local maps. Maps. Does everybody here have local maps anymore? I still have my old ADC book. Anybody here have an ADC book? Oh, good. Good job. You still need it. Cash. Yes. Does a map from Google Maps download to your phone? As if you download the map to your phone, as long as your phone is still charged and it doesn't require Wi-Fi or anything like that to look at it, then you should be okay. But here's the problem. You're going to be using a lot of battery. You don't want to run out of battery. You may want to keep that battery for something else. So if you can have something that you don't need to use that battery for, get your own map. You know what I mean? Okay. Cash. Why do we need cash? Why do we need cash? Who's paying with their phone now? Who's paying with their phone? Click. There, I'm paid. No cash? No cash? No cash? Okay. Cash. Where's your local, what do you have here? Giant or Giant Food Line? Okay. Food Line saying, hey, we're open. Come on down. There's no power. There's no electricity. There's nothing. They're going to expect you to buy anything you want. How do they expect you to pay for it? Cash. I'll still write your receipt. Cash, Mrs. Johnson, 332, whatever. There you go. All right. So have cash ready. How much cash? That's up to you. All right. I like $300. I'm just throwing a number out. Okay. So build a personal go kit or go bag. All right. The other one was for your shelter in place kit, right? I'm going to be at home. I'm going to be stuck. By the way, if you're at home and you're stuck, you have to make sure you kind of give yourself something to entertain yourself. So a lot of times we think books are a good idea to have, maybe your favorite book, right? Because you're not going to be able to play your little chess on your phone anymore or whatever else you guys are playing, Candyland stuff. I have no idea what it is. I don't use that. So you can't use your phone. You need to entertain yourself some other way. All right. Isolated for 24 hours in office, school, car, or emergency evacuation. Now, about 10 years ago in Virginia, a big snowstorm happened. All right. 15 vehicles were stuck on the highway. Nobody can get to them. They couldn't get out, and some of them ran out of gas, and it was probably about 24 degrees outside, blizzardy weather. Whatever you had in your car is whatever you can have to live off of. Just like your own home, your car is going to have to become your own savior, your own safety net there. Anything you can put in there, anything you can think of, bottled water, charger for your phone, emergency contact list, reflective foil blanket, whistle again, lamp, flashlight, matches, lighters, whatever you can have, comfortable clothing, extra clothing, right? Cash again, and a roadmap. Everything comes back to the same basic stuff. All right. It's a lot of stuff. I know it's a lot of stuff. I'll give you the books. All right. So it does come down to a lot of other things. most of us are thinking all the safety stuff. Well, what about the money part, right? What about, am I financially prepared? Do I have a house that's well insured? Is it insured for whatever problem or disaster I'm going through right now? Is that possible? Do I have all of my medical information with me? Do I have the insurance information with me? The deed to the house. Do I have the deed to the house? Right? Everything you can think of. Okay. We do have this book too. If you guys want this book, you can also get the information through the website, and I'll give you that information as well. All right. Any questions so far with everything I've told you so far? I know it's a lot of information. Okay. So getting involved. One of the reasons or one of the ways that you guys can help each other out. A tornado. Let's say the tornado goes through all these tables. Is it going to hit all of you? Tornado is very specific. It's going to go, I like the color blue. So it's going to go all blues. And that's it. All the reds and blacks and shirts and all that. You guys are safe. But we're going to have to help those people that are next to us. Our next door neighbors need help now. Okay? We're going to have to get involved. All right? Most of us don't want to. That's not my business. I don't want to get there. I don't know. I understand. Participate in community meetings. Is that what your dad's doing tonight? Let me ask you something. How many more people could be here if everybody in your neighborhood was here? How many more people are we talking about? Miss President? How many more? How many more people can we get here if all the neighbors from your group would be here? At least 300 or something neighborhood? 4,000. Okay. Well, we'll go. Yeah, membership community. Yeah, for your community members. Okay. More? A lot more? 300. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. No, okay. It's just, but I want you to think about that, right? It's not just you guys. You guys are going to have to think about everybody else because nobody else is going to be thinking about themselves. So you're going to have to start talking, start putting that out there. We need to include friends, families, neighbors to be a part of that emergency plan to get that ready. Practice together. Check on vulnerable neighbors. Any of you guys know any vulnerable neighbors that are not coming out of their house once in a while to get the mail or anything like that? Or sometimes they even leave the door open just for the mailman to drop the mail in there and then the mailman closes the door. I've seen that too. Okay. Take first aid, CPR, or stop the bleed classes, civilian response to active shooter events class. You can ask if your house of worship, if you guys are part of a church as well, we can go and teach your classes at the church. We can do all kinds of stuff with the, you can join the AAA CERT, which is the Anne Arundel County CERT team, which we have, I think the average of 20 years old all the way up to about 90 are volunteers. And they help us out as well at the Emergency Operations Center. So the AAA CERT really gets used a lot. Stay situationally aware. All right. If you see something, say something. And if you see something, say something. And if you can do something, try to do something. And that means something like CPR or whatever it may be. If you can help out, call 911. And yes, it's tough to do this, but you definitely have to try to set the example. All right. That's tough to do because it requires a lot of stuff from you. Commitment, caring for somebody else that's not your family, etc. And I understand that could be a little bit tough sometimes. All right. So this is all the training that we have. I'll give you the booklets for the training. Don't worry. You don't have to read this. But it does involve, well, one of the things we do have is hurricane preparedness. So we do have that. That is a way different than what we did today. Hurricane preparedness prepares you for the hurricane itself. All right. These are our books, and I'll give you that. Any questions? Because I'm all done, and I'm glad you guys are happy about that. Any questions? Yes, the microphone's coming right to you.
In any of those, can you hear? Okay. In any of those books, do you have maps with evacuation routes?
No, that's a good question. So we tried to make the book general for everything, but we don't put any specific information regarding maps. Now, if you want to do your own map and take it to that book and make that kind of a bigger book, that's up to you. But we don't put anything like that in there. Anybody else? Yes. She's coming too, yep.
Is there a general, like, small kit that you carry on yourself 24/7? Like, if you're just going for a 30-minute walk in the neighborhood or something that you'd recommend?
I still recommend a first aid kit more than anything else. If you can, I would take the tourniquet. I think there's two things that you have to worry about for those. Those are injuries of any kind, and then the emergency injury that you may be able to use the tourniquet on would be one of the reasons why I would take those two things. Always. Yes. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Ms. President.
Hi. Do you have a recommended centralized like website or location for where to find local alerts? Because like a few months ago, my husband and I were on our way to the mall, and we were unable to find out that there was an actual active shooter situation at the mall, and so we were stuck in a crazy traffic jam, completely clueless, and we were turning on the radio, couldn't find anything. We were, checking Facebook, checking, anything. And we eventually found something after we were able to finally leave, and the mall had already been closed off. But like, are there, specific websites or specific social media platforms where they do a really good job of keeping up to date with a lot of active alerts happening?
Yeah, it's usually if it's Anne Arundel County, usually the police department do update their what they normally say is an activity or some possible active shooter activity in the location of whatever it may be, still investigating. All right, that doesn't mean it's confirmed, but they're definitely still looking into it. That's something that should have came up whenever you looked at it. If you looked at the police department's Facebook and Twitter or X. But those two things are usually where they're going to, if you want to go to search for something, you may be able to find it right there.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. Good question. One up here. They're making you walk today. I can help you out a little bit.
I was curious about the prescription thing, because I know of people in my family that have prescriptions that they need to survive, but they don't have extra, right? Like they don't have like extra medicine on hand.
Okay.
And I was curious about, like, have you ever had I mean, I know this is a bit of an insurance question, and ultimately, but that aside, right? Are you aware of like contingency supply language for insurance companies or like?
Yes. So
stuff like that.
So the language is definitely where you want to say, I'm in the state of Maryland. If you I'm running out of medications, basically is another form of saying it. I need medication, and you guys are not going to be available after this emergency, so I need it to be refilled now. And they'll probably ask you, well, how much do you need? Because they'll probably give you a certain amount that's not dangerous for you to go and overdose on. So it's usually about 2 weeks. 2 weeks should be sufficient enough, hopefully. If not, then another 2 weeks after that. But normally what you want to say is that I'm going to run out. By the time the storm gets here, I'm not going to be able to go back out to get my medication. So I need you to go ahead and start the refill for that medication. Now, obviously, if the emergency is sudden, that's not going to happen. But if you know something's coming, third day, second day, first day, it's here, then you can go ahead and prepare that way.
And if there is no imminent emergency,
Yeah.
do you just say you're going on vacation? Like, what do you say? Like, how do you get that? I'm just curious how one approaches it.
Well, if there is no imminent emergency, that's something you would have to talk to the
Because this is like a planning exercise,
pharmacy, right? Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, because they're very strict on certain medications specifically, and especially if you're on some kind of antibiotic or if you're on some kind of pain medication.
I'm specifically thinking of anti-rejection medication.
Yeah, so that one could actually be something that you can force to get a little bit ahead on that. Yeah,
okay,
and
I'm just curious.
And just in case, yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else? All right. I think we're okay then, right? Everybody good? Everybody's going to survive? All right. Just a quick question before I let you go. What are your 3 steps for your fire escape plan? Are you ready for the microphone? Okay. There's 3 steps. Anybody? What's your first step? What? There's a fire in your house. What's your first step?
Get out.
Thank you. You get out. What's your second step?
Go to the rendezvous place.
Which is going to be who?
Your neighbor.
Your neighbor. Go to a rendezvous place. It's going to be a neighbor. And then your third step is to call 911. All right. Easy stuff. You can go home and do it tonight. All right. Thank you very much. All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you, Jorge. We really appreciate your coming and talking to us about this stuff. So you certainly do not have to hang out for the rest of the meeting if you. We really do appreciate. Although, if you have anything to hand out, everybody does like party favors. There are just a couple things that I wanted to go over. And one is that if you don't know already, we have a new website. Thanks to Adam over here.
I think someone watching our live stream loved Jorge's presentation so much that at 6:20 we actually got a new member on the new website, and that made me happy because I had no idea if that would actually work because no one's actually signed up for a new membership yet. So that was the first one since we went live.
Thank you. Right. So you can. So the new website has a lot of features. You should check it out. If you have any questions, please feel free to email or come to a meeting and talk about it. But I'd say, please check it out. And one other thing that's been kind of, I guess, a little bit of a topic of conversation is that due to, I guess, not necessarily an overflow, but potential overflow of sewage in our area, DPW has determined that we've reached peak sewage capacity and has implemented a building moratorium in part of Anne Arundel County that includes Linthicum and I want to say Hanover, a few other places. So, which, we have quite a few building or developments sort of in the works. Those that have already had their sewage, whatever, approved, can still go forward, but those that haven't are halted. And the thinking, from what DPW is saying, it could be up to 5 years. So what I did was I reached out to our friends from OPZ who were here in September with my little list of developments that are in the works, various levels of approval, to ask them which ones have already passed that threshold and which ones have not been approved yet. And I haven't heard back, but Eric Noodle, the very helpful engineer who came and spoke to us, said that he is working on it and he's going to get back to me. So for those of us who are concerned about, the school capacity and the capacity of, our other public facilities, it seems like the sewage capacity has kind of won out, and for at least a period of time, they're not going to be really building up Linthicum, which I think most people that I've talked to consider that a fairly good thing. So that's one thing that I wanted to mention. Also, we received a notice about mosquito spraying, which I guess I kind of always thought they just did, but they don't. So we need to, there's a form that the president of the community association has to submit saying that we do want mosquito spraying in our area, but and have to notify the entire community, even non-members for somehow. And then also those who are not interested in having their property sprayed can complete a form to opt out. So members will be sent an email about all of this. And then I think we'll also do like a posting in the library and on our various Facebook pages. You know what? I don't really know. Does anybody? I always thought it was just up and down the streets, but how do you don't get like backyards and stuff with that. Anyone know anything? Oh, hey, do you know about mosquito spraying?
Okay, so normally the way they do it is they go across your front yard, and it's a quick spray. And the trees, anything that's the front of your yard, that is a tree and stuff, quick spray, and keep moving in the front. But it's all in the front, nothing in the backyard. All right, it's all in the front. Sorry.
Well, that's not as exciting as I thought it was. Yeah, that's what I was hoping for because I hate those things. Lori.
So, Jorge, I do have a question though. A concern has been raised, and hopefully it's not a dumb question because I honestly don't know. Have the mosquito sprays been updated enough to where the concern is about the honeybee? Have the mosquito sprays, is that going to be something that would be hazardous to something like the honeybee that we're trying to, it's because we have companies who come out and say, okay, this is pet safe, or this is pet friendly, or it'll non-toxic or something. It's just for the weeds, or it's just for this, just for that. So that's why I'm asking, it's been raised, so that's
right.
why.
So I'm going to be honest with you. I do not know that answer. Okay. I do know that the work that they do in the neighborhoods that I'm in are only to make sure that they get as many of those mosquitoes out of the way. That's it. So they're not really, I don't think they're really concerned about anything else at the time. And I think that's why they do it at night. I'm assuming you guys know that they're going to do it overnight, nighttime usually.
Okay.
It's usually a nighttime spray.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Okay. I'm no longer here.
Thank you. Okay. I think that was all of my announcements. But Lydia Cunningham has some garden related stuff that she'd like to talk about.
Thank you. The Linthicum Garden Facebook group. We're really trying to promote this. We're going to have a garden contest. So if you even have one native plant, you can enter. And if you have many, then you can enter in a different category. But a lot of people don't know what native plants are. So on the 25th, which is 2 weeks from today, I think, at 6 o'clock in the library, we're having an information session. We're going to have food. We're going to have some people who know what they're talking about, and some catalogs and some plants. And so if you bring a picture of someplace in your backyard that you're trying to grow stuff and you're not successful, bring it down, and we've got people that might help you, might walk away with a plant that you can put there. So that's the 25th at the library in the evening, 6 o'clock.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Oh, okay. I thought Anthony had a question. Any other announcements or questions?
Thank you. The BWI Airport Noise Zone scheduled a meeting on 19 March from 3 to 5 and 6 to 8 at 991 Corporate Boulevard. They're going to be redoing the plans for the noise zone. So they're inviting the public to come and provide input.
Oh, that's good to know.
You got the email. Kevin sent it out yesterday. I think,
right.
so.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to look at it. So thank you. We
could
could
put that on the website.
Yeah, and maybe send it to the membership.
Okay.
Because I know that's, a big issue for a lot of people.
It is.
Dan will tell you what he just said. No, that's okay. Did you have something?
Yeah, I have a couple things. First, about the monitor. Per our new website, in order to get to the extra articles, that would be your crafts, that would be your
Environmental.
cooking, yes, environmental. Anthony has the community articles here and there. So in order to get to those, when you log in as a member and you click on the monitor, you will see now that underneath each monitor, at least for now, you will see extra articles in like a smaller subtitle, and that's how you can get to them. So, second announcement is that I covered for Jonathan for the police meeting this past month, real quick, because apparently we're under a severe thunderstorm watch until 11 p.m. So,
I thought it was.
So I will try to. So I will hurry. Okay, so the community meetings and the PCRC meetings, they are now combining. It's just better, I think, for everybody's schedule, and especially our police who really, they are now working 12-hour shifts because of the shortage. So, and honestly, off the record, this is really something that we need to talk to our state leaders about. So I'm sorry, and encourage them to encourage hiring. So they are now working 12-hour shifts. Also, real quick, they are, okay, so the speed cameras. I was able to get a couple of these records right here. Okay, so for the South Camp Mead Road one by the elementary school, all right, for the 283 enforcement days that it's been going, there's been 376 warnings, 2,325 citations. The highest speed, no joke, 67 miles per hour in that. I know. So, affirmative. Yes. So, anyway, yeah.
So how much
So
is it per citation? Is it $40?
Okay, it is $40 up to $425. So while there are no points, you're going to pay out of pocket.
Yeah.
So this is, yeah. So basically, the cheapest one is $40, and the most expensive one, which is up to 40 miles per hour over the speed limit, is $425.
What is the speed limit there? Is anyone?
30.
Oh, that's like a.
I know.
Oh, was that what you need to do?
And the speed. Yeah. 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 So, I mean, if people really want to explore the ins and outs of it, I will let them. But since I'm on a public microphone, I just wanted to say, and I doubt it's any of us, but I'm just saying we need to slow down.
I wouldn't have thought that it would be, yeah, wonderful. I wouldn't have thought it would have been that many citations. Oh, okay. Oh, I guess so. You're right. Yeah, that's why I'm more annoyed in the morning than usual.
Since our bridge is gone right now, that is being used more. I just turned it off. Is it on?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Okay. Ever since our bridge fell, more and more people are using that as a straight shot between the airport and the tunnels, or coming from the tunnels to bypass the traffic whenever 695 or 895 is
Right.
backed up. And in Brooklyn, there is a little local Yoco 895 entrance, and that's what people have learned using their GPS. So that's why, hence, we're getting more traffic also.
Mm.
So, yeah. Anyway, I did not have the actual numbers for. I should have. Sorry about that. I missed it. There was a lot of information going on, but basically, if you're coming downhill on Andover, there's been a whole lot more warnings and citations issued with that camera than going uphill. So naturally,
Is that physics
like
or something?
significantly
I guess?
more. So anyway,
Oh,
we have a lot of speeders in our community. Okay, that's it.
Casey, did you have something to say?
I can answer the insecticide question, but I don't. If you, oh, I didn't mean to hit it. I'm so sorry. I didn't know you were standing right there. I'm sorry. I almost smacked it right out of here. I was just going to quickly read this.
Yeah.
It's from the Maryland Department of Agriculture and Anne Arundel County's like websites. Okay. Most Maryland programs use a class of insecticides called forgive me. Thank you very much. You said it great. Which are typically permethrin or sumithrin. These are broad spectrum insecticides, meaning they're toxic to almost all insects. But their impact varies based on when and how they are applied. So there's two types of options. Evidently, there's the impact of truck spraying, and then there's the impact of barrier treatments. And I don't know which one they're doing. It sounded like he was describing barrier treatments, but I'll read quickly both.
Okay.
So because those are the two options for like application. Truck-mounted sprayers release a fine mist, ULV, designed to stay airborne and kill mosquitoes in flight, bees, and pollinators. Because the Maryland Department of Agriculture typically sprays at night from the truck spray option. Honeybees are usually safe because they are tucked away in their hives at night. The mist dissipates quickly and generally does not leave enough residue on flowers to kill bees the next morning. However, moths are an active night species. They are the most likely non-target victims of truck spraying in the evening, so we'd lose moths. And then also fireflies are also active at night and can be affected if they fly near the mist. So large body mass compared to mosquitoes gives them some slight survival rate, but would likely be impacted even at lower doses. So that's the answer on the truck spraying. And then quickly on the barrier treatment, it just says that butterflies and caterpillars are often impacted by this option. This is where the most damage occurs. Butterflies land on treated leaves during the day, and caterpillars eat them. One study found monarch caterpillars could be harmed up to 3 weeks after a barrier spray. Ladybugs, lacewings, and dragonflies can be killed by these residues. This sometimes causes what they call a rebound effect, where the mosquito population explodes later because their natural predators were wiped out. And then ultimately, if there's a rainstorm within a certain period of time after the spray, the chemicals are highly toxic to fish and crustaceans. So you don't want to, you just have to hope that they spray during a dry period. Otherwise, that stuff goes into our waterways. Generally, the ULV mist is calibrated to kill small-bodied insects. With more mass, so insects with more mass, like large beetles, wasps, or big bumblebees, are more likely to survive a single exposure than smaller gnats or flies. Generally, you can ask to be on the no spray list, and there's recommended that if you're worried about mosquitoes, but you could use the dunks. That's what it says. That's the gist of it. I'm going to pass the mic back now because that was a long response.
That's useful information. So, no questions, comments. All right. Well, I hope that you enjoyed our discussion today about emergency preparedness. Our next meeting is Wednesday, April 8th, and I'm going to put you on the spot, Casey, is the executive director of Visit Annapolis and Anne Arundel County going to be coming to speak to us?
Say that again. I'm so sorry. What did I say? Kristen Peronis will be joining us. She's lovely. She works on, and it's not just Annapolis, so she does Anne Arundel County as well, and works at the nexus of like work. She's also on the workforce development that's actually based in Linthicum Heights, is on their board, so we can ask her questions about that as well. So she wears a bunch of hats, ultimately works on economic development issues in the county, and so we can ask her about how we can how she might recommend that we consider economic development issues and tourism issues in Linthicum. But she can also tell us about lots of other exciting projects happening at the county writ large. So,
Well,
what's the formal name of it?
the visit Annapolis and Anne Arundel County.
Yes, visit Annapolis and Anne Arundel County for the microphone.
Well, we look forward to seeing her. Well, thank you all, and everybody get home safely.